Hey everyone, Derek here from WayScript. In this one, let's take a look at how we can process CSV data using Python. Once we process this data, we'll write it back to a CSV file all using WayScript. Let's get started. Starting out, we'll go to wayscript.com. If you don't have an account, it's completely free to sign up. Then we'll click on Create a new script. I'll call this one CSV Processing Example and click on Create. In this example, what we want to do is to read in a CSV file, process it using Python, and then write it back to a second CSV. So to start that off, let's read in our CSV file. We can do that by importing the CSV module and dragging and dropping it here. We're given the option to select a file that's already on our account or to upload a new file. I've already uploaded mine, so we'll use it. The CSV file that I'm using has information about companies and when they were funded. For this example, let's import the company name and how much they were funded for. So we'll click on the column that has the company name, rename the column to company, and then we'll do the same thing for the raised amount. So we'll import it and type in raised amount. Next, we can get rid of the heading values by clicking on Ignore Headers. Importing these columns gives us these two variables at the bottom that we can use later on in our workflow. Next, we'll do a simple operation on these number values in a Python module. So let's click off of CSV and then let's type in Python. Python by default is imported, so we just need to drag it and drop it below CSV. When using Python on WayScript, there's a built-in editor that we can type Python code directly into. If we want to use a variable from a previous step, we store those in a variables dictionary. We can access it by saying amounts is equal to that variables dictionary with the key of raised amount. This is setting amounts in a Python script equal to the same variable that WayScript recognizes as raised amount. Let's do a simple operation on this. We could do something much more complex, but I just want to show you how it works. So let's create a new list and we can do a list comprehension. So let's say integer I times 2 for I in our list. All we're doing is we're taking each value in this list and timesing it by 2 and adding it to a new list. Let's make sure this works by printing one value of that new list. We'll click on Run Code. And when we run the code, we see that we get twice the number of the first number in our raised amount list. Like I said, this is very simple processing and you're able to write your own Python code to do much more here. So there's no limitation on what you can do. If we want to return this Python value back to WayScript, we can use that same variables dictionary. So let's say variables new list is equal to the Python value of new list. Once we run this, we see that that new list variable is created in the bottom left. At this point, we've read in a CSV file, we've done some processing on it, and now all we need to do is to write it back to a second CSV file. We can do this using a loop. We'll type in loop into our packages and pull it in below the Python module. At this point, let's loop over each of the variables that we want to write over. So since we had 3 list values, let's loop over each one of those to create an iterable value to the right. We'll say company, raised amount, and new list. Once we input all of these values, the iterable is created on the right. Now all we need to do is to write those values to a CSV. We'll type in CSV and drag it inside of our loop. This time, instead of reading a file, let's write our file and let's add to. If we wanted to replace, we could here. And then we'll create a new file. We'll say YouTube example. We can click the plus for as many variables as we want to write to the file. We only have 3, so I'll click it 3 times. We'll put in those iterable values into each of the blanks, and that's it. At this point, we'll loop over each of those iterables and add them to a CSV file. If we wanted to view our CSV at the end, we could drop another CSV module below it. This time, let's read that new file that we're creating. So YouTube example.csv. Now we can hit Run Main. At this point, we can sit back and let WayScript do the work for us. I'll show you what the finished result looks like once the script finishes executing. Once the script finishes executing or we manually stop it, we can access that new CSV file that we created. We can download it, or if we don't want to download it, we can view it using the last module and see the information. And that's it for this one. There's a lot more that we could do with this, but I hope it shows you the power of WayScript and how quickly we can build these applications in just a few minutes. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please let us know and we'll get back to you. Until next time.